Are there any comments from the public? All right, hearing none, I guess we'll get on to our first agenda item of oaths of office.
All right, Chad, we'll do you first. So stand up with me and raise your right hand, please, and repeat after me. I state your name.
Chad Leonard,
Having been elected
to
the office of mayor,
the office of mayor,
but have not yet entered
have not yet entered
upon the duties thereof,
upon the duties thereof,
swear or affirm
swear or affirm
that I'll support the Constitution
that I'll support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the state of
of
Wisconsin,
the state of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully discharge
and will faithfully discharge
the duties of said office
the duties of said office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God. That one for me, right there.
And I'll do you two at the same time because you're the same office.
Okay.
Stand up and right hands up. I state your name.
I, Sarah Flannum,
Having been elected to the office
having been elected to the office
of alderperson of the city of Amory,
of alderperson of the city of Amory,
but have not yet entered upon
but have not yet entered upon
the duties thereof,
the duties thereof,
swear or affirm
swear or affirm
that I'll support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the state of Wisconsin,
of the state of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully discharge
and will faithfully discharge
the duties of said office
the duties of said office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Okay.
More comfortable standing.
All right. Since this is a committee meeting and usually the council president would be leading the meeting, since we have an elected one, we'll do that at the main meeting, that I will lead the rest of the meeting unless there's an objection to that.
Carry on.
Okay. Department head reports, city administrator. Patty.
Hello, everybody. I have the monthly report for April, and first item is a K-9 officer care check. I wanted to wish my sincere condolences to the Amory Police Department on their loss of K-9 officer care check. Safe Routes to School, the final meeting to approve the draft of Safe Routes to School was done by Haley Bushman, Assistant Planner and Safe Routes School Coordinator of West Central Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission. The focus is on safe biking or walking alternatives for students of the School District of Amory. The School District of Amory, with the help of the City of Amory, will obtain grant funding to make safer routes on Warrior Way, Broadway Crossing, Minneapolis, and Broadway intersection, as well as signage and other improvements at the school campus. Monthly department head meetings. I'm holding monthly department head meetings. This will help all department head staff convey needs to be implemented as needed. Monthly staff meetings at City Hall. I will hold monthly meetings with staff to keep the department running smoothly. I value our staff and all that they do to keep the city of Amory an important hub for the community. Employee reviews. I recently conducted the first round of employee reviews with City Hall staff and department heads, Public Works and Police Department. The next round of employee reviews will take place in August to prepare for the 2023 budget cycle and payroll. South Industrial Park. The South Industrial Park progress has stalled slightly due to the weather. I would like to work with the council and staff to determine how the sales lots continues. Currently, the sites are not addressed or marked. There will be curb, gutter, sewer, and water, as well as other utilities in the area. And I am working with the city's local realtor to decide how we move forward with the sales of those lots. I'm initially going to start having them go for the price that we determined at the last meeting. And they're 1 acre. So whoever comes in there can negotiate with the city. So let's say they want to buy 2 acres, 4 acres, whatever. Wayfinding trailhead signage. I know Rick talked about that, and I started the process to look at the wayfinding and trailhead signage for the city of England. The directional signage will be a welcome change to the city. I will work closely for concept designs and moving forward with that process. And down the road, I know Chad, you talked about a possible committee for that, so that'll be a good segment for that. Community club, I attended the recent community club meeting, and I was very interested in hearing from various new businesses in the area. The community club is working hard to promote the city, and I'm impressed with how they are involved with the community. T-Mobile cell phone. I just discovered that T-Mobile assets located on the City of Amory's water tower tank are terminated. As a result, the T-Mobile Sprint merger to T-Mobile has determined it no longer requires the site as part of its new combined network. But however, Sprint will remain. So I didn't want to decommission that site because they're still staying there. So upcoming events, we have our next city council meeting, May 4th at 5. May 13th is the 11th annual past presidents and community business award ceremony at 6 o'clock. May 17th is a committee of the whole meeting at 5. And May 30th, offices of the city will be closed. So any questions?
Is that separate equipment, T-Mobile and Sprint? So it's T-Mobile removing theirs.
Yes. But Sprint's remaining. Yep. So we'll see. And it's happy with them. And if that does happen, if they go to remove further equipment, they have to pay us, you know, because we have to go through walkthroughs and inspections and all that good stuff. So, yeah.
Okay, great, thank you. Clerk treasurer? Yeah.
Mine is pretty short. The lion's share of my time has been dealing with the spring election. So we had 706 total voters, 533 of them were in person here, and it went way better than the old building, so that was great. We used our Badger books for the first time at that election, and they made our lives so much easier. So we are gonna have 2 more for the August one, and then we should have 4 total, and we'll be good to go for the midterms and anything else moving forward. Next week, I'll be going to La Crosse. The Spring Municipal Treasurers Association Conference is the 28th through the 30th. So I'll be down there in a couple days doing different trainings. We started our training with AdCom on how to use everything in here. Hopefully we'll be up and running with all that before long, but they have a couple things to iron out still. Liquor license will be coming up before long. So anybody out there with a liquor license, if you're thinking about that, that's coming up in about 6 weeks. Taylor and I'll be doing some training for the DOR, learn a little more about that, and help us improve our process. And then finally, today, I started talking to Lisa McMahon up at the county. She's the emergency management coordinator of Polk County. So her and I'll be talking a little bit about our plan down here. Hopefully get some updates done.
Great, thank you. Chief Morris.
Mine's a little longer. Good evening. As Patty mentioned, our staff is saddened and in disbelief at the sudden passing of K-9 Kerchak last Thursday. We are touched by the overwhelming response we've received from the community. I appreciate all the kind responses we have received from so many people. To those who have received our city newsletter there, please read the article and scams that Officer Cormery authored. There's been a great uptick in reports of scams. Some have resulted in significant monetary loss, and all the scams, calls, and mailings can put stress on the victims in our community. We did recently test our 2 severe weather sirens, and things all went well. We will continue to test them the 3rd Thursday at 1:45 p.m. through September, weather permitting. When the spring season approaches there and people are more inclined to be outside, our city gets more frequent calls and complaints about residents that have accumulated junk in their yards. If you have miscellaneous junk, such as garbage, appliances, discarded building materials, or abandoned vehicles, please get these items removed from your property or stored out of sight. If there are any questions about this, please contact the police department. Further information is also available on our website under Ordinance Chapter 332. A reminder again that our administrative office hours will be Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. until further notice. Due to staffing levels outside of those hours, please contact the Polk County Dispatch Center at 715-485-8300 with contact with a name or officer. And remind that the Amory Police Department continues to provide police coverage in our city 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, as we always have. Is there any questions at all?
No.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Assistant Chief. I should clarify, Assistant Fire Chief. Oh, an
Mine's-
intern.
mine's
There we
longer.
go.
There you go.
Mine's a lot shorter. Congratulations to you guys.
Thank you.
It's been a really slow month, mainly due to the snow and the rain we had. So just a reminder, anybody wants to burn in city limits of Ames, so please still waiting from Polk County on our $10,000 grant money. I talked to Lisa McMahon today. She assured me that we will be getting it. It's just a matter of when. So that's on. And we've already come up with ideas on how to spend it. So it's gonna be a good thing coming. We had Pancake Breakfast on Saturday. As cold and snowy as it was, 350 people still came and showed up and helped us out. I want to thank Chili and the Amy Family Restaurant for the generous donation of all the food. It was greatly appreciated. So thank you very much. Other than that, since it's been so slow, we don't have anything. Any questions?
Could you knock on something, please?
I mean,
I feel bad stuff going around.
I don't feel bad that we didn't have it, but on the other hand.
You said it like 3 times.
All right. Library director?
We have spring and summer on our minds at the library. So in preparation for what we anticipate being a busy summer and active summer, we are looking for some temporary part-time help at the library. Applications. If anyone is interested in applying, it'll just be for June, July, August. Speaking of programming, upcoming programming, this Saturday at 10 a.m. we will be making fairy gardens in the maker space room of the basement of the library. It's for all ages, adults and kids. Next Thursday, April 28th, we are doing a pajama story time at 6 p.m. after the library closes. Kids are encouraged to bring a stuffed animal that will spend the night at the library. They'll pick up their stuffed animal the next day and get to hear about all of the stuffed animal handling. We continue to have story times every Wednesday at 10 a.m. in our makerspace room. And we're going to have a Lego challenge that will take place on May 11th. For adult programming, we have brought back our third Thursday crafting program. So that takes place the third Thursday of each month at 6 p.m. in the makerspace room of the basement of the library. Each month, participants learn a new crafting. Also for adults, in May, I'll be starting up a drop-in basic computer and tech help program. So on Fridays from 10 to 11, anyone can drop into the library with their computer questions, device questions, technology questions, and we'll do our best to help them out with those. And our Books and Brew Book Club, the next meeting is May 5th at 6 p.m. That is the first Thursday of the month at Amory Works, and they are discussing the book All the Light We Cannot See. Lastly, I'm in the beginning stages of working with a long-range planning committee to look at our next 5-year strategic plan, with hopes that that will be from 2023 through 2027. I have plans to hold a few community meetings this summer, early summer, to discuss various topics related to services, programs, and materials that the library provides. And I'll let everyone know as soon as those are planned to take place, because we look to invite everyone, public, stakeholders, everyone that has the library.
Thank you. No, thanks. Director of Public Works.
Well, good evening, everybody. We've also been working on our reviews, got most of them done. Doing a lot of maintenance on the lawnmowers and weed whips, getting everything ready to ever dries up. This month, we're doing a lot of street sweeping and we'd sand. We put more. Nice. I've been trying to get out and patch the streets when the weather permits. Been, like I said, sweeping it up and got the hydrants flushed. The no parking signs are up on Elm Street, or on Harriman from Elm to Deronda, east side. So just so everybody's aware of that. I don't know what the old folks home, they are still parked on the other side of the street, but we'll get some more signs up there maybe. Like I said, dump, better news anyway, May's coming. The dump will be open the first and third Saturdays from 9 to noon. And the parks will be open the 1st of May. We're still looking for summer help. If anybody's interested in applying, they can come to City Hall and get an application or go on the website. And that's pretty much all I've got to do. Any questions?
Great, thank you. All right, moving on to the annual building inspectors report.
So for an overview of how we've been growing this past year, we celebrated 25 years of living and growing in the Amory area. REM Inspecting is a local family-owned business, and we started back in 2018. We operate our business based on godly principles, administrative codes, local ordinances, state statutes, and national governing bodies to try to incorporate everything in the business that we do. We hired additional local citizens to increase our full-time staff to 5 employees as of this year. We've also increased to 7 part-time subcontracted inspectors also for our business. We subcontract with other local inspection agencies like Moriac Enterprises, West Wisconsin Inspection Agency, Brian Wirt Inspection Agency, and Josh Maelstrom Inspections to ensure that we can provide the city of Amory with the services it needs to get the inspections completed in a timely manner. So if we can't do it, we make sure we got resources available to get the job done. We are a member of the Northwest Wisconsin Building Inspectors Association, and we'll be hosting the association's inspectors meeting here in the city of Amory for the first time in May. We are members of the International Association of Electrical Inspectors, and we will be taking training in La Crosse this coming May also. And we are attending the League of Wisconsin Municipalities Building Inspectors Institute training this week to ensure that we are trained and up to date on codes and requirements. And I think it starts tomorrow, so I'll be leaving right after this meeting for that. For the inspection report itself, the attached inspection spreadsheet provides the following information. Basically, we issued 54 permits in the city of Amory for 2021. We looked for local businesses. We worked with local businesses to keep accesses open to their businesses during the road construction work that was done previously. So we helped those businesses. We have 4 permits from 2021 waiting to be picked up from the city office. Most of these delays were due to the COVID and the material prices and those kinds of things. We closed 23 of the 54 permits that were issued in 2021, leaving 31 open permits for the end of 2021. We closed 7 permits in 2021 that were issued in 2020. And we still have 10 open permits from 2020 that we were issued in 2020. The total valuation of construction projects for the 2021 season was $8,866,626. The total valuation of construction projects in 2020 was $5,107,852. And we're currently working with the owners of the Amory Theater to help open the doors again. So I'm pretty excited about that. And we want, in conclusion, we'd like to thank you for letting us serve the community as our inspection agency, and our staff put together a little fun picture presentation of non-compliant items found during final inspections during dwellings, those kinds of things. So feel free to kind of look through them. They're kind of self-explanatory. They kind of show some of the descriptions of what we saw. Tree houses and those kinds of things, and some stairs without guarding or decks without lateral supports, improper toe nailing of beams and those kinds of things. Meters put in front of the windows and not secured. Neutrals and grounds on the same screw, PVR valves on the hot water tanks, not having downspouts to keep that from happening. Eye level, dishwasher circuits for GFCI protection. And on the last page is some events going through fire separation walls requiring that type of separations. And then attic spaces not having any hatches or closures to that, allowing fire to get up in the attic spaces. And then lastly is in the decks that have the cable supports, the supports have to be closer together so that kids can't squeeze between them. So, any questions from my report?
No, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, discussion on simplified rate increase for water, sewer, and potential monthly billing.
This kind of came up because of the need, I know Jeff and talked, we're gonna have to look at sewer plant corrections. We need to start being cognizant of the fact that we need to keep getting our rates simplified, because if we wait too long, then it's gonna be a full-blown rate increase. It's time for us to do that again. And it kind of walks you through what you need to do for that. You actually file a simplified rate case there. And I'll do that with the help of our utility clerk, so she knows. Her and I have her on the same page as that. But once we publish the notice in the paper, we mail it directly to the customers. And then we have to upload the application through the system. And then we'll see if PSC accepts the application. And then they assign a docket number. And then the PSC staff processes this SRC, which is simplified rate case process increase request. They issue a rate order and prepare and email the revisited rate sheets to the utility for their records. It's time for us to do that. It's been a while, so we need to do that again. We need to get going on starting the process. So just wanted you to be aware of that.
Was the last time we did it in February of 2021? Is that when it was?
No,
Or what's this other document from
this is
February?
just a sample document.
Oh,
We're gonna
I'm
see
sorry.
what the
Okay,
process
thank
is.
you.
You know what, it's a sample.
Sure. Got it.
Just walking you through the steps of it.
So when is that? When are you going to start that? Is that something that we have to approve or?
Yes, yeah, so we'll need to have this on the agenda and then approve me moving forward with the process, and then we'll start doing the process. Yeah.
We kind of like summer, end of summer to start?
It takes a little bit of time. I'm thinking it'll be more fall.
Okay.
Yeah, so takes a little time to get everything processed. And at the very latest, it'll start beginning of next year. So depending on how the process moves.
So do you need our approval to move it to
To move
council?
forward to council. Yes.
Okay, I'll make that motion to move this on to council.
Second,
All right, it's been first and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? All right, we'll move it on to full council.
quick question along that same topic. The radio read meters, are we coming up to replace them soon? Because don't they have like a 10-year life on them or something? like
Yeah,
that?
they've got a 10-year life. What's happening? Sounds like maybe replace the reader. The heads we got, the heads they no longer make the style we're using, of course, they're outdated. We're kind of that, trying to figure out how we can do it most efficient and cheapest way we can do it. Might be just getting a new reader.
So we're looking at probably a year or two before that
Yeah,
process.
yep.
Great.
We bought all the meters they had.
Mhm.
For our style, so.
All right, agenda number 5 was just a memo that I had sent out.
Can I say
Oh,
something?
go ahead.
That included the sewer, the potential monthly billing. I know we talked about that previously. I don't know if you want to revisit that again. It's just something that might help with water loss.
Mhm.
There's been a lot of that, you know. and I talked to Jeff about it with the exceptions report. I guess I want to catch it for the people that get their bills so that they know that they're having to pay, because any water that goes through the meter, PSC requires us to charge that to the customer
Mhm.
because they're using that water. You know, it's just something to think about.
You know, not only that, but you're also gonna not have these non-paying,
Correct.
you know, or you're gonna be able to identify the non-paying really quick.
And you got more, you've got more cash flow.
Mhm.
I mean, it's more consistent.
What's it gonna take to make that change in your office?
Yeah, administratively, what is that going to take?
I talked to Taylor and I've talked to Linda. It's pretty much just a matter of semantics, making sure they're doing the same process, but they've got a schedule.
Okay.
And it's done then, and it keeps going at that pace. The guys, it would affect the guys a little bit, but how long does it take you to read?
A day.
A day.
So that's not a big deal anymore.
No. And we've got pretty good system now with the bills going out and how we fold them and stuff them, and newsletters would probably still go out once a month, just like the monthly billing, so.
Does this also open us up to the opportunity of electronic billing?
Yes, I think for sure. The opportunity is there now.
Okay,
And more people, if they gave us their email addresses, and it would eliminate less mailings for sure.
Yeah, it would be a good way to have an opt-in kind of a
Mhm.
process. So and say, I don't want to get the mailing, send it to me.
Email it.
Yeah.
Because we can email the bills now. We can now.
Do we have a process by which we can accept electronic payments?
Yes. Can come out of your checking.
Yeah, I'm not asking about a regular bill. I mean, if you send me the bill, can I put it in my computer and go, and you're paid?
There is a way to pay it, yes. The way we have it right now, you can pay it through your but you have to identify to us how you want it to be paid.
Yeah,
That's the only way you can do it right now, or you can pay it yourself.
well, I know,
Maybe we need to look at being able to pay by credit card.
like the credit
Well, you can.
credit cards you can do,
Yep.
and I, like, when I pay some of the bills.
Yep.
Some of them are direct process, so when
It
I hit
automatically
send,
takes it.
it goes right to the city
Yeah,
account. Others don't do that, and so when I hit send in one day, then whoever does for the credit union sends a paper check,
precisely.
and that's typically a 4 to 5 day
Right.
process, just like it would be if you dropped it in the mail.
Yeah, and I'll look into that. That is the way it is now. So if you were to do a payment through the city and it was through your bank or your credit union, they would certainly draft a check, and then they would send us that check in your name for
Yeah,
the payment. Yeah. So yeah, that's something we can look into for sure. Right now, we do it through GovPayNet, and that works nice for the city because we don't have to pay fees. The customer pays the fees.
Mhm.
And anytime we can avoid having to pay all those fees is advantageous for the city. But there again,
Yeah.
there must be a way for us to be able to do that. We keep improving the way things are going, so.
I personally didn't know that there was the ability to email
your bill.
bills, so that might be something that you want to make sure is like front and center on the website.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
if we can save postage,
Yep.
I think that's important to have a form that you can fill out directly
Yep.
versus getting phone calls and that type of thing. I
Yeah.
think that
Yeah.
would save some time too.
Yeah, I think more and more people are moving to paperless.
Right, right. Thank you.
so that'll be on the discussion for May. All right, upcoming committees, boards. So I sent a memo just outlining all of the positions that are open. There are some that I'm sure that will want to continue to stay on as where they were before for example, library board, plan commission, zoning board. Those we'll talk more about those in May when I bring forward the nominations for each of those. There are two that I think I see as extremely critical, and that is the elder person from District 1 and the elder person at large. So no one ran for those open seats, which means we have to pound the pavement and find two people that want to join the fun at the dais here. So that's something that if you're interested in that, connect with City Hall or connect with me to potentially be a nomination for that, as well as all the other boards that are open. And there is a link on our website, two of the open positions. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was potentially combining a couple committees that we'll, of course, talk more in May about, but it's combining the downtown facade committee and the revolving loan committee right now they're two different ones. I think putting them together allows for that opportunity to say, all right, somebody's coming forward, what is the best program to put them through? So, and plus it reduces 5 or 6 people that we need to have on a committee. The other is to dissolve the beautification committee, which we have 3 people on, and create a new committee. What did I just threw out a name for it, but it's basically people that are, it's a committee that's focused on arts, parks, and recreation for the city of Amory. We have beautiful murals that are starting to not look so beautiful, making recommendations then to Director of Public Works as well as the council on what we should be doing to create opportunities for folks to enjoy our city even more than they do today. So those are a couple committees that I would like to add. The other one that I thought of after I sent this memo was about focus on recycling. And that one, I think we could potentially create a recycling committee and basically name the Amory Women's Club to that committee that then gives us guidance and feedback. So those will come at the May 4th meeting, but I wanted to just put it out there so everyone is aware of what I had in my mind. And it can be changed. But, so that's what that was. Any questions on that? All right, moving on to agenda item number 6, ordinance 012022 about alcoholic beverages. I think this is one that you requested through.
This one was just to update the verbiage in there of clerk treasurer, deputy clerk.
Oh,
Before I
okay.
had administrator, and I just wanted to clean it up a little bit because
Okay.
they're the ones who deal with the liquor licenses, not the city administrators.
Okay. One thing that I noted as I was reviewing it, it would be nice whether we have it in ordinance or just in practice, if there is a denial, to let us know, because we'll probably be the first ones to be called when liquor license has been denied.
Yeah,
So I think,
Hasn't been one since I've been here, but that's not to say it couldn't happen.
Motion to forward the alcoholic beverage ordinance 01-2022 to full council for approval.
is there a second?
Yep, second.
All right, any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? All right, it'll be at May 4th meeting. All right, next garbage hauling RFP.
So the RFP you guys have, it's like 20 pages, so it's very long. I took that one and based it off the one that Sparta just did at the beginning of the year, I think it was. And the need for this rose because for the current contract, they stopped doing recycling. That technically made our current contract void. So I thought maybe it would be a good idea to send those out for bids and get you guys' input on. We should move forward with that.
Well, we definitely needed to get the contracts up to date with water. Severely outdated and
I looked through it, and to the best of my understanding, it looks like everything in this proposal reflects what's also kind of been done in the previous, as well as the ordinance supporting the county as well. Is there anything missing?
The next agenda item kind of updates our current ordinance to sort of match if the RFP is to your liking. I just changed, most of it's the exact same as it is now. I just changed a couple phrases and paragraphs so it match kind of what we asked for in the RFP.
Yeah, and it looked like the liability things and everything was still the same. Timing was,
That was just my best guess. That's open to whatever.
well, you have to set a date and
Yeah.
something, and so this would be. After this, it's a little more than a month in the process, for the whole process, right?
Which the timing allows us to get that in front of the committee of the whole.
No,
Yeah.
although
No.
the review is June 1st. So it'll be another 3 weeks before it got in front of committee of the whole.
So we
So
want,
either we need to bump up the final review, or the staff review before May 17th, or after June 10th. Right? I don't know if we're better off putting more time in there to.
is there something statutory that requires 3 notices? Is that what we were doing? Is that why we were doing the 3 notices?
Yeah, for that type of notice, yeah, it's statutory.
Okay, so then we're kind of tied to the statute then and the process we have to follow. So it'll be at the July meeting where we will,
I mean,
Yeah.
even if we keep this same schedule, doesn't mean we have to bring it up on the agenda for council
Yeah.
in June. It's just an opportunity if you want to extend it to 6 weeks instead of 4,
That's the time.
you can do that. I'm good with it the way it is.
so you want a motion to move forward with the RFP to council? All right, I'll entertain a motion to move the RFP to council.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, it'll be at council. Good. Solid waste ordinance 02-2022.
Like Ben just reiterated, it was to follow in line with our RFP, so we had to update our ordinance. So it's correct.
I just have one question under. Would be the second page under the non-collectible materials. I understand dead animals and explosives or ammunition, but it says foam polystyrene packaging. What do you do with that?
I noticed that one too.
So where does that go? We're just supposed to burn that thing?
I was
Build a
Yard
boat,
waste or what?
build a boat and put it out of the lake.
Because everything that you get.
Yeah.
You're fighting the stupid plastic.
Chad asked me about that right before the meeting. That's like the only section I didn't edit. So I pointed out, I said, you know what, I didn't touch that section, so.
Right, but the
So it's in
question
there currently.
becomes, so there's an opportunity for a black market polystyrene foam disposal process. Running a black truck around the neighborhoods picking up foam.
3 a.m.
I think you could probably also rent a chipper shredder and use it for blown in insulation. But that's the county, which I doubt has ever been enforced in any pickup in Amory.
Even though you're putting illicit materials in your garbage.
I don't think we're all.
So we could strike that if you want.
I'm just curious, if you're saying you can't do that. where's it?
I don't think Polk County takes it, so,
So it ends up in the trash can.
or on the side of the road or
Yeah.
something like that, so.
I guess
And
I would,
especially with the advent of Amazon and those trucks being through town, multiple times a day, more than ever.
so it sounds like we
Well,
want some more discussion about, or
I'll make a
Research.
motion to forward ordinance 02-2022, the solid waste, to full council, striking the line in section 362-2 B sub 15.
do I have a second?
Second.
All right, any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? All right,
That still doesn't.
No, it doesn't
Kick the
change
dog
the-
across the room though, as far as what do we do with this now?
Oh, no.
it goes in the trash then, right?
I'm just setting it up so that
Well,
if we have a vendor, an RFP from a vendor who says, well, then I don't have to pick up polystyrene.
Right.
Now it's gonna end up in your front yard.
Well, I think the question needs to go back to Polk County as well and say, well,
What
where
do you-
where do where do we dump it?
Yeah, it's not a solution to what we do with that,
No,
but
it
it's a
highlights
solution
it.
to this
It
contract.
does identify it as a problem.
Okay, good. All right, next ordinance is 03-2022, all-terrain and utility terrain vehicles.
Yes, I know Ben and I discussed this for a while there, and I know Taylor and I have also discussed that. Our ordinance is kind of confusing, and it hasn't been updated for many years, except for maybe some routes that I believe were implemented and then removed, Taylor. That, and I've seen in other communities I've been in where they pretty much opened up all their communities except for, maybe their main highway, like 46 would be ours and County Road F there. And then signed at the beginning of the entrances where we sign our winter parking restrictions and things like that. I've seen some nice ones at Spooner that really look really nice. I've seen some in some other communities that are just kind of blah there, that just say, all our roads except these roads are open, speed limit, whatever it is, unless posted lower and things like that. And I think that would be a little more conducive and take away some of the questions on that people have had. We had recently posted our ATV ordinance and a response was, well, that's not an updated one and stuff like that. So I think if that's something that we would look at. Also, we got a boatload of ATV signs on streets we could remove, things like that, so.
So essentially, it's just identifying 46 from north to south city limit signs and County Road F, east to west, to pretty much the same thing. You identified streets like Venture and is it 105?
Yeah,
Yeah.
105th.
Up to 105th,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, those are the areas that they've.
And those are the ones that those are high traffic. for
Yes,
Everybody coming in or leaving, so.
and right now, County Road F is open till you get to 105th area, and we have signage that directs them down to 105th and on to Baker and things like that there, so. I think some nice signage at our entrances on the north and south end and out on F and a couple other areas there, just indicating that we welcome those types of things, just a reminder that these two roads are not open to ATVs and maybe a few other little things there that are what our speed limit is and things like that. I think it would clean up our city, but by taking down a lot of those other signs that we've implemented 25 or so years ago when we put the routes up, so.
But you would put signs on the routes that are not.
We would figure out some type of signage, kind of like what we have up at 105th there, and we have them coming into some areas there that the roads aren't, we would have the signage at the north and south end of Highway 46 there that would in essence also state that, but we would make sure that people are well aware, people that read the signs, obviously there or want to adhere to that, but I think it's just time for us to move forward. A lot of other communities have. I don't know, has Clear Lake done that yet?
No, we saw this designated road.
Okay,
So, one of our issues always is keeping the ATVs and UTVs out of our industrial area. Because with the high commercial vehicle traffic, semis don't have fender benders.
Yeah.
So, and they really don't have fender benders with UTVs, so I'll just roll over the top of them. But I'm sure, most communities are going to open, but always the concern is going to be is speed. Always the concern is going to be adhering, especially with our younger folks. They need to be 16 and older to be operating in the city and ensuring that we are doing that. So, and it doesn't matter that highway, they're running up and down Highway F past the sign anyways, because the county trail or the county route is Highway
Right,
F out of
yeah.
town, so.
yeah. We received relatively few complaints about that, and although ordinance has said that you can you leave your residence to access the route with the trailer service and things like that. I don't even think that's in effect anymore there. And we haven't certainly stopped people leaving their house to, so I just think it's the way that we could move forward like other communities have and get rid of some of the confusion.
I guess I would go ahead.
Well, and I recall last year, was it, we were talking about speed limits, specifically as it related to this type of vehicle. I don't remember really what it is because I
We
don't.
raised it on what was a couple of years ago from 10 up to 20 miles an hour there.
Yeah, so I think it's important to reiterate that as
Absolutely,
well
yeah.
when it comes to publishing this as well, so that everybody is aware of what the speeds are, et cetera. So everybody's.
The
on
only
same
deviation
page.
in that would be North Park there, which already has a slower speed limit anyway, so.
What's the issue with just making the speed limit the same for ATVs as automobiles? i.e., now you can travel down a street where, let's say I'm on Harriman and I'm trying to be a law-abiding citizen, and I'm driving my ATV at 20, and the car next to me is approaching me at 25 to 30, which is pretty typical, I would say, on Harriman Avenue. Now I'm a slow-moving vehicle compared to the
Well,
rest of the folks.
You're not gonna be traveling down the main portion of the road. I mean, you still need to stay to the right of the road there. I mean, I guess, I think 25 or 20 miles an hour is a fair speed. I guess I don't think it's inconsistent with a lot of communities there. You're absolutely right. I mean, when the speed limit's 25, vehicles are probably gonna go 25 to 35. Do we necessarily want ATVs and going?
The majority of the ATVs and UTVs are not built to be run on hard surface. So when you have the higher speeds and they're taking curves and they have this tendency of.
I don't see that we
And
got
I
an
know-
issue
yeah, and I
with
know
that at
that,
20 miles an hour.
They're also not a motor vehicle. They don't have all the safety
Mhm.
that our modern motor vehicles have, like windshields and seatbelts that are mandatory use. And so,
I guess I would question if we've opened it everywhere, why it's still close it on F. And not just open that up if they're already coming down F. Or if we decide to do that, I don't know that we should have it stop at Venture Drive. As I was looking at the map, you basically have to go all the way past the dump and out to Waterman's to be able to come back into town.
Only that or coming on the trail. I mean, I
was
think
gonna
that's
say
most
there's a
people
trail
come in
there,
right
like-
now as well there. I have concerns in that area because of the way the hills are and the way the speed limit changes from
Mhm.
25 to 35 to 45 when it gets up
mhm.
to 85th there. I think we're asking for traffic issues there, especially, my own opinion there. I think when you come over a hill and you got an ATV, going, I think we're looking for disaster there. I understand where you're coming from, but there is ways that communities can open up other roads as well there. If the speed limit is less, I believe it's less than 35 there. I guess personally, I wouldn't be a proponent of opening up County Road F at this point, or 46.
Well,
Yeah, I would
46
say-
can't be opened
yeah, I
up.
would
I
say
mean,
for-
that's state highway. So by state statute, they cannot run on.
I thought there was
46.
something about it was under 35 miles an hour there, but
No, because we've had discussions about that as well over the last.
and it wouldn't affect because on the north and south end, we have a 40 and 45 mile an hour anyway. there.
And, but there's enough other routes to get around, but
There are enough other,
F coming in from the west, that's not an issue. I agree with your issue with F coming in from the east. It's just a bad section of road to be running those on. So that would be just the one little exception, but otherwise, yeah, let's just open them up, so. Be my recommendation, but you would have to redraft the ordinance to reflect all that. Correct?
correct. I wonder if we get any confusion if we open one side of F, not the other side of it,
Yeah.
so that's why I think, let's take these little steps first and
What about a sign at Waterman's Corner that says ATVs must,
we can certainly look at that.
Go to the trail,
huh?
go use the.
Yeah,
trail.
show them where
I
the
mean-
trail is, right? I
Most
don't,
people are probably gonna know where the trail is. They
Yeah.
have that, they have Lincoln Avenue. They could turn down 85th and come in on Griffin Street there. So there's multiple ways
yeah,
that they can
it's not a good place to come in on the F though there.
get into town there, and we all have restrictions, and I think we are opening up more roads, and just trying to make our community more friendly on that. And keeping in mind the safety of when the vehicles commingle and stuff like that, so.
So I'll
I recommend we table this until they redraft the ordinance to reflect those changes and bring it back to committee next month.
I suppose we should be prepared to wait for the clubs or golf carts to be asked to be on the roads as well,
And the hover rounds and
right?
Well, I guess I'm not necessarily in favor of crossing off 105th to Keller either, just considering the speed limit out there is 35 miles an hour and there's not a lot of shoulder. So to have an ATV off to the side when you're dealing with the hill, especially if you're heading west, that is an area of concern. And I guess I agree with not necessarily having ATVs on that particular road in that stretch. That concerns me. So I guess.
We're only limiting County Road F.
Right.
And 46.
Yeah.
And
Right, but we were just also talking about striking that area. too,
correct,
so
right.
I'm not in favor
Yeah.
of that, I
And
guess.
if you're looking, the challenge with going east is really where do you stop?
Mhm.
And Venture is kind of the furthest place you could go, but it's also kind of the most useless spot to stop it. So you could also move it to the next intersection.
You move it back up to 85th Street there, and you sign it.
Because then you can go both directions
Yeah.
and go around it.
County will allow you to go down there, but you can't go any farther. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't see a reason that anybody needs to drive in on F any further than where you can get around the rest of the city, really.
I think right now by coming in from the west and then turning on 105th and down Baker, there it gets people in there. And also on the east side there, they have the Cattail Trail, they've got Lincoln Avenue there, they come in that way, or they can cut down 85th and go in on Griffith Street there, so.
So are we saying we don't need a table?
Well, if you
Because it's
change,
written the way that,
I
if we-
like the way it's written, actually, I like the.
yeah, the only
exposures
only
that
thing I would say, and I could accept it the way it is, but Venture might be an odd spot to stop
Perhaps
it.
go up to 85th. Can't go anywhere on Venture.
And I think it was designed because that's where our city limits,
Yeah,
Oh,
and
sure.
that's where our city limits basically start and end and stuff like that. And technically, we don't have any control over.
I'm talking about the intersection west. School and
at Minneapolis.
Minneapolis. Stop it there. Because then you could go north or south.
But aren't we then still opening up Venture Drive, County Road F? Maybe I'm misunderstanding there, but
no. So the trail in the city would stop at Minneapolis and Broadway. You can't go further east from there. But you can go south to out of town, which is the route now, or you can go north up to the trail as well, so. just
I'm
blocking
looking
off
at it
that.
from the other direction. If you're going and it's stopping at
stop it.
Venture, that doesn't do you any good.
No, but
Because
stopping
as
at
far as
85th,
Minneapolis, you could go either direction.
so allowing County Road F to go into Minneapolis,
Yes.
okay? But that's.
well, there would be no travel between Minneapolis and 85th Street. Correct?
Which that is not what
That's not
Eric
No,
is
it's, we
saying.
Yeah,
don't
I-
have any control out on 85th.
Right.
No, I'm just saying that you could allow traffic coming west until Minneapolis.
That's where it brings up the concern of those hills in the 25, 35
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
45 there, because
And I
there's
really
three
don't-
changes.
With the trail there, I don't see people driving on that anyway.
I don't necessarily either there, but I mean,
You gotta have a spot to
I
stop.
believe that it would turn in, the people that would use it, I think that it would become a traffic concern. And maybe not for the Amory Police Department, but for the county there.
Mhm.
All right, so there was a recommendation to table it. Is that what we're doing? Or are we gonna move forward as it's
If
written?
we know what we're looking for.
Right.
Just a few points of discussion.
And it does make sense that you do say Venture because that is a city limit. But in reality, it really should stop at 85th. But we don't have the
We can
jurisdiction
put
to
a
do
sign
that.
up, and we could find a, potentially put a sign up that,
Well, you could put a sign up at 85th that says that there's no ATV traffic on the F through.
we do the same type of signing as we would on the north and south there, just,
Sure.
all routes are open except County Road F and 46 there, and
Yeah, I just don't see any reason to open F in the city limits. If we don't have to. With the trail.
there's certainly no shoulder by the school and all or anything like that. And would we
So,
now get an influx of students that would want to ride their ATVs, UTVs from east of town? I guess I don't know that, but
But
They
they
all
can
come
bring
in
it-
on
They
the
can
south
get
side on 60th anyway, I think, don't they?
Yeah.
Because they can't, I don't think most of them park at the ballpark.
yeah, I think that it has changed. They used to prohibit ATVs on school property there, but I think that they've become a bit laxed on that, and or they haven't called us there, so I mean, there are some that we see, a handful that utilize that, and they do park at the ball field sometimes as well there, so.
so really under 358-12 routes, so C, that should say County Road F from Broadway Street, or County Road F Broadway Street from Keller to East City limit. Because that's what we have control over. We can't say till 85th,
Right.
Right, yeah, and
So-
Venture Drive is basically, the
East City limit. But
city
I-
limits there. I mean, we could put city limits there, we can take out Venture Drive and things like that, just as we could take out 105th, and just say limits on
Mhm.
on the west side of the community city there.
It probably just cleans it up, I guess. But I think to your point, in subset C, it should be east, not west. Right? Is that what you said? It should be Keller Avenue east to
Oh,
Venture.
No, from Keller Avenue west to, oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Ben, have you followed all that?
I got it.
They're both correct.
So entertain a motion to move it to city council.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
I,
Stand by. And with those, with the
With the
changes.
With the changes that
Thank
we've
you.
talked about, yes.
I,
All right, opposed? All right, move forward. All right, we're going into closed session, Wisconsin statute 19.85.
a moment,
Oh,
a moment. I don't know, because I didn't get here, I was in the emergency room, but I don't know if Tom made mention of the fact that we lost an officer last week.
yes.
I did, yes.
Did you?
Patty mentioned that, and then I mentioned it as well.
And I think it would, I don't know if any resolution was made, but I think it would be appropriate if we had some formal.
Yeah, I think there's something in the works already for that,
Okay,
so.
super.
Okay, moving into closed session, Wisconsin State Statute 19.851C, potential police lieutenant position, employee reviews, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data for any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility.
Motion to go into closed session.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Oh, roll call.
Strobush,
I.
Van Blaricom.